Now celebrating 50 years of making music, the Marionettes Chorale was the first community choir to be formed in the newly independent Trinidad and Tobago back in 1963. Since then, it has become one of the Caribbean's most celebrated performing arts groups. Comprised of nearly 150 amateur singers, dancers, actors and musicians from every walk and stage of life, it has evolved from an all-ladies choir to a multi-arts organization that strives every day to produce world-class performances with a uniquely Trinbagonian flavor. The choir distinguished itself in its first 25 years as the most outstanding in the islands, retiring unbeaten from the local music festival competition in 1980. From the very beginning, they traveled frequently within Trinidad and Tobago, sharing their love for music. They also traveled overseas, up the Caribbean islands and as far as the United Nations in New York. After 1980, the group sought to show the world what Trinidad and Tobago's people were really capable of, winning top prizes at choral festivals in Europe while competing against some of the world's very best choirs. On each international tour, the Marionettes were committed to sharing the beauty and vibrancy of Trinidad and Tobago's culture and to dispel any doubt that a tiny developing nation of just 1.2 million people could stand shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. This they carried with them on tours throughout the Caribbean, Europe, and North, Central, and South America. In turn, they have also hosted visiting choirs and orchestras from the United States and the United Kingdom, promoting cross-cultural exchange and understanding. In addition to countless performances at home and abroad, the choir is perhaps best known in Trinidad for its annual holiday concerts, which celebrate a season of giving and humanity. Trinidad and Tobago is a country of tremendous human and natural resources, but also of incredible poverty and inequality. So each year, together with longtime corporate partners BPTT, the Marionettes partner with local NGOs to raise funds for causes of vital importance. They also host special performances for local orphanages, the elderly and the disabled, who otherwise might never be able to attend. In just the last 5 years, the Marionettes have raised nearly US $200,000 towards hurricane relief efforts, cancer treatment and prevention, mentoring programs for at-risk youth, support for the victims of domestic violence, and care for the terminally ill. The choir's very success comes from its members' spirited giving, commitment to artistic excellence, and passion for local culture, qualities instilled in them by the group's award-winning leadership, Artistic and Musical Director Greta Taylor, Production Manager Joanne Mendez, and Property Fund Director Susan Dore, who have led the group since 1974. In the last few years, they have been joined by Carolyn Taylor as Assistant Artistic Director, Jacqueline Smith as Assistant Production Manager, and Dr. Roger Henry as Assistant Musical Director. The Marionettes were among the first ever to blend choral voices with Trinidad and Tobago's very own steel pan back in the 1960s, and has performed with the island's finest steel orchestras. But in addition to their commitment to championing Trinidad and Tobago's own calypso and folk music, the group has always worked to expose local audiences to the finest music from countries and cultures around the world. They have introduced various landmark musical works to Caribbean audiences, some never performed before or since in the region. All spread messages of hope, peace, understanding, and what we all as humans have in common rather than what divides us. But it is not just adults who benefit from the beauty and discipline of the performing arts. In 1995, the Marionettes Youth Chorale was formed, and in 2012, the Children's Choir was formed. Today, the two choirs include dozens of energetic and talented young people from more than 30 different schools. Like their adult counterparts, they come from a wide range of ethnic and socio-economic backgrounds, some with formal musical training and many without. Music and the arts bring them together in a rigorous training environment where they are taught to strive for excellence and to give of themselves and their talent to build a better nation. Because they recognize the difficulties that young people face, the Marionettes run workshops with trained facilitators in personal development and conflict resolution, while providing a safe environment for young people's talent to blossom. Many youth chorale members have gone on to become successful local and international performing artists and scholars, proving the value of arts education. In 2010, the youth chorale celebrated its 15th anniversary and the hundreds of young people's lives who have been enriched by their years in the group. This youth outreach continues through work with local primary schools to instill the love of music and the arts from an early age.
What I have found in my involvement in Marionettes is that it has brought me a great sense of joy. And in looking at Mrs. Taylor as well, in how she approaches the teaching of songs, the compassion she shows, the maternal instincts that she has. You get a sense of warmth from her, that she really loves what she does, and that she actually loves her choir members, that she appreciates our presence. And so she wants us to appreciate what we do as well.
I joined last year in September, and it was a tough year because my mum had passed away that year, and I didn't really have anything to keep my mind off of stuff that happened at home and just sadness in general. And then joining choir allowed me to interact with people and letting me just get happier because I was able to sing and express my feelings and just express myself a little more.
Through the years, I eventually came to realize that in the Marionettes, it was more than just singing. What I've learned is that being in the Marionettes has given me a chance to use my talent to help others. I remember when there was Hurricane Ivan in Grenada. That year, the Marionettes did a show, and they donated the proceeds of that show to the relief effort in Grenada. And I felt a sense of fulfillment that I was able to actually do something to help the people in Grenada.
In 2001, the choir, now a real multi-arts organization, established the Marionettes Property Fund and has been working toward building a community art space in Trinidad's capital. Rehearsal and performance space on the islands is extremely limited, especially for emerging performers. So for years, the Marionettes and their peers have been borrowing space at church and school halls. But the time has come for their own home and a place they can open up to the wider national community. It will be a place where artists can teach, rehearse, and showcase developing work in all artistic disciplines. The group has already secured a piece of land from the government in a neighborhood slated for urban regeneration. And since 2001, they have been tirelessly working to raise the funds to construct their new performing arts center. This will ensure that they can continue their award-winning work to uplift communities and nurture young, emerging talent for generations to come. This is the Marionettes, a small organization from a small island with a big vision for Trinidad and Tobago's people and culture. Ranging in age from 8 to 80, these amateur performers with a full complement of work, school and family commitments journey from all over the country to make music. Through the performing arts, they continue to nourish the spirit, set the highest standards for performance, and to celebrate the very best of Trinidad and Tobago.